This is the lowest I've ever been. So low that the music from someone entering the 7-Eleven around the corner causes me to almost break down. I turn to my friend who's sitting next to me, and I want to say something, anything, but I can't. There's only silence. I should probably start from the beginning. I don't have a place that I can really call home. Because I was born in Guatemala to 2 Taiwanese immigrants, I had the word outsider written all over me. At school, I was the only Asian kid in a classroom full of Latino kids who weren't welcome. At home, I had no one to turn to because my brother was too young and no one else was around. One of my earliest memories is of me sitting in the classroom. It's probably a Friday because the teacher is asking us, ¿Qué van a hacer este fin de semana? She's asking us what we're doing this weekend. And all these kids, they're listing out places they're going, movies they're watching, things they're doing. And I'm sitting here confused. Why is the weekend so special? Why does the teacher ask this question every week? And I'm confused because my parents work 7 days a week. And on the odd holidays or days off, they would usually be busy catching up with chores or doing things in their own lives. To make matters worse, I didn't have any friends at school. It was hard to make any when my parents couldn't afford babysitters or drive me around to different activities after school. Instead, they would take me to the store that they owned every day after school finished. It's a lot like the dollar stores that you see here, except everything was in quetzales, the Guatemalan currency. And since it was a store with a lot of customers, they would always be busy with them, and I would have nothing to do but sit in the corner and think about the horrible things that happened at school. One particular memory comes to mind. Oye, ¿qué hace gordito chinito? It's Augusto shouting at me from across the yard, safely surrounded by his group of friends, something I'm reminded that I don't have. This is 3rd grade recess, and gordito chinito sounds a lot like a cute playground rhyme that kids would say to each other. But gordito chinito actually means fat Chinese kid. And it stings. It hurts because I know I'm fat. And it stresses me out to the point that sometimes I will hide in the bathroom or pretend to vomit in the nurse's office just so I can skip gym class. But I don't let Augusto know this. Instead, I jump off the swing I'm on and I walk over to him. Now, I'm obviously a big guy from what he said, and he's actually kind of a skinny kid, which makes this unfair. But I punch him in the stomach as hard as I can and I watch as he falls over. His friends are too shocked to react. And if we're being honest, it feels good. I feel powerful. And it's one of the few moments in my life when I feel like I'm in control. I walk away before they can do anything, and they never bother me again. I love Guatemala for a lot of reasons: the food, the weather, the culture. But Guatemala also struggles with violence. When I was in 5th grade, my uncle was killed in a botched robbery on the way to the parking lot from the store that we owned. Crime is common there, but foreigners are especially vulnerable because they seem like easier targets. And while I was born there and had been there for a long time, the way I look will always make me seem like a foreigner there. Naturally, this event caused my parents to freak out, and they decided to send me to live in Texas with my aunt. For a while, I was excited. This was America, the place everybody wanted to go. And I thought I would finally find a place to fit in. It's about a month into the 2nd semester of 5th grade, and the teacher's telling us to partner up for a math worksheet. This girl who's sitting next to me, she turns around and she goes, "You know, you're strange-looking Mexican, but you want to be partners on this one?" And she's smiling with these really cute dimples, and I can't help but say, yes, let's be partners. I know she doesn't mean any harm by her statement, but it still stings a little bit. As hard as I try, I can't seem to convince anyone here that no, not everything south of the border is Mexico. It's frustrating, but I don't make a big fuss about it because at least I have friends now, and that's so much better than being alone. As I grew up, I developed this crippling fear of never belonging. Fitting in is easy. It's as easy as speaking the same way and pretending to like the same things as the people around you. But belonging is deeper. It's a sense of community, an intrinsic sense of trust of the people around you. And that was something I didn't believe I could ever have. In 9th grade, my parents decided to send me to live in Taiwan so I could be closer to relatives and better understand the country that they were from. I'm in beginner's Mandarin class now. Mandarin is the predominant language in both Taiwan and China. 你的中文听起来好奇怪哦. My teacher is telling me that my Mandarin sounds really bad after I've just finished reading a passage. At least she's honest about it. But she has the look on her face. And it's the same look I get from the cashier at the grocery store and the waitress at the restaurant. It's the same look I get everywhere I go. And I know what they're thinking. How can someone who looks Taiwanese and is living in Taiwan not be able to speak the language? I don't say anything to my teacher. I don't usually respond to people. Instead, I shift my accent slightly and I reread the passage to her in the way that she believes it should be read. I pass, but deep down, I know that I've just given up another piece of myself. 4 years pass like this, and I find myself back in the middle of that intersection where we started the story. It's 5 a.m, and I'm about to have a meltdown. I turn to my friend Pierre, who's sitting next to me, and I want to cry, to scream, to shout, to say something, anything, but I can't. Pierre's half French, half Taiwanese. He's an outsider like me, but he'd been there his entire life, and I thought he would never be able to understand what I was going through. And so that made it difficult to speak. Suddenly, the 7-Eleven music rang again as someone walked out, and I started crying. Now, I'm not generally very good at being emotional, but there I was, just sobbing in front of him. And I turned to him and I go, you know, as hard as I try, I can't be happy here, and I don't think I can ever be happy anywhere. Surprised, he turned to me, and in a way only teenagers could, he goes, bro, what's wrong? And I continue. I tell him, I'll be graduating soon, and I'll have to say goodbye to all the friends that I've made here, and this will just be another place that I can't call home. He thought about that for a quick moment, and then with a sudden anger that I'd never seen before, he asked me, are you kidding me? You've been everywhere, but I've been stuck here my entire life. You don't have a home because you have many homes, and that's something most people will never have. I wanted to say something back to him, but I was too shocked to respond. Over the years, I've thought a lot about what he said that night, and the way it's changed my perspective. Here was someone who was my best friend, someone who I would have given anything to be, wishing he could be me. And more than that, he was right. While I can't stay in one place forever, I can always keep with me the best parts of each. And at the end of the day, home isn't a place. Home is an idea. It's the people around you. Thank you.